everyone. Let me try and hit the right button. I hit the right button today. Welcome to today's Sudoku stream. We are starting today with this Copycat Yin-yang puzzle, which is listed at 3 stars but has a kind of terrifying looking rule set. So let us make this endeavor to do this Scojo puzzle. Hey Scojo, how are you doing? We have normal Sudoku rules apply, so that's a good start. It's about the only normal part. Then we need to place the digits, then we need to shade some cells, and so this is a yin-yang set of rules, so that all the shaded cells are connected and all the unshaded cells are connected, and no 2 by 2 can be entirely shaded or entirely unshaded. Then we have copycat cells. So a shaded cell acts as a copycat cell. And so a shaded cell, its value isn't the digit in it. So if it contains a 1, it doesn't matter. Its value is the digit of the rotationally opposite thing. So rotationally opposite here just means swap row and column. So if this is shaded, row 7, column 3, its value is the value of row 3, column 7. We have sight lines. So a cell in a circle tells you how many cells of the same color are seen orthogonally from its position. And then we have a killer cage, which tells you the sum of the values. Notably, the digits can't repeat in a killer cage, although that's relevant exactly for these 2 cells. But the values can, which you might notice is going to have to, because the only way to make a sum of 2 is 1 plus 1. So what's going to have to happen is that one of these is going to be a 1, and one of these is going to be a 1. But we know which one, because if we put a 1 here, that's saying that this is the only cell, because it's including itself, right? So that would be saying, like, if this were shaded, it would be saying there's no other unshaded cells in any of these cells, which would break quickly. Likewise, if this is shaded, basically you just can never put a 1 in one of these cells. And so the 1 actually has to go here. And so we can bring out Zach for the 1 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wee! Wait a minute. That's not true. I didn't do this correctly, did I? Wait, did I not understand what rotationally opposite means? Because this isn't rotationally opposite, right? Unless I have not understood. Oh, it is right. It's true. I just didn't say rotationally opposite correctly. Well, I'm just saying, like, the way I defined rotationally opposite, it's rotationally opposite, not reflected across this diagonal, which is what I said when I said these 2 are opposite. It's not that these 2 are actually opposite. It's 180-degree rotation. Got it. Okay. So that's a 1. That's a 1. This cell is shaded, which will make yellow. This cell is unshaded, which will make blue. Whether this cell is shaded or not doesn't presently matter. And that will mean that this cell sees the 1, so its value is the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so the yellow certainly has to grow, at least by 1. Yep. Row 2, column 1 is unshaded by connectivity. I agree. It is puzzle time. So DWeb claims these can't both be shaded. Yeah, right. If we, wait. Why can't we have 1, 3 and the rotationally opposite? Right. Yeah, copycats copy digits, not values. So these 2 copy these 2. By Sudoku in column 9, right. So yeah, so the yellow has to extend, but or at least has to extend no further than here. Because if the yellow extends to here, what David is saying is that now I'm claiming these two cells sum to 4, but that would mean they were 1 and 3, but that's a problem because there's already a 1 in the column. So that means starting here and wrapping all the way around the rest of the grid, those things are all unshaded, which makes that shaded, and that shaded. Like that. Okay, so now this number is a 9, just because it now sees 9 blue cells. Yellow is shaded, correct. My blue has gotten slightly less transparent than it usually is. 1 second while I mess with the hue just a little bit to make it look a little bit more unshaded-y. This one isn't actually unshaded. There we go. Now it looks more unshaded-y, but it still hopefully is visible. I think it's still visible. Let's see. So, if I make this unshaded, it's going to be a minimum of a 3. Would have to be 3 and 1. Would make all of that yellow. I know there's going to have to be some mix of shaded and unshaded in here, because otherwise you can't get to this total. These two cells reflect down to these two cells. And so neither of these cells is a 1 in any universe. So one of these two has to have a value. I guess actually, sorry, I don't know that there has to be a value of 1. Never mind. Because I could sum to 11 as like 2, 3, 2, 4 or something. Oh, right. Sorry, I did this wrong. So yeah, so if the yellow extends down here. Oh, wait, no. If the yellow extends down here, now this digit is big, but it doesn't matter because that's not the digit we're looking at. Right? Because this digit would be big, but its value would be over there. So I think it's totally okay if yellow extends down here. I do see that blue can't extend up further. That's a good point. Blue certainly can't go this far because now this is a 4 that's actually a 4. So we certainly know that yellow extends at least this far down. Let's see, this is opposite that, which seems fine. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. The 34 cage, the maximum the 34 cage can sum to now is that is good from DWeb is if it's 8989, because the 4 cells over here reflect to the 4 cells over here. And so I need to make these two unshaded and make them 8, 9, and these two 8, 9. In order to make it so that this actually sums to 34. So now these need to hit a 1 and a 2 in some capacity. Oh, right. Sorry. Right. These have to be blue. Right. Because if I shade either of these, they're taking the value of an 8 or a 9. Right. Which would certainly be bad. So those certainly have to be unshaded. And therefore they are the 1 and the 2. And we can yellow these because of the no 2x2s rule. So now one of these cells in this 3 cage, in fact, that cell in the 3 cage has to be shaded because the only way to do 3 as a sum of digits, regardless of killer stuff, is as 1 plus 2. So that cell needs to reflect to a 1 or a 2 up there. Yep, agree with David. Hey, Alima, how are you doing? Yeah, this 11 cage doesn't need to have a 1 in it, unfortunately, or I'd know that the 1 had to be coming from there. But... Oh, actually, sorry. I know this doesn't have a 1 in it because the 1 actually sees this. So actually, yeah. So if I minimize the 11 cage, it's 2, 3, 4 plus the value of that cell, which is 2, because it can't be 1, and that is 11. So that's the point, is that that's 2, 3, 4, 2 is the easy thing, I think. Okay. 1 and 2 in this box are now sort of shoehorned into only 3 cells. It's so 2020. It is so 2020. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but at least you get some puzzles. We know there's a 9 over in one of these cells. Let's see. The 1 in here go in a variety of places. Its value is coming from over here, though, right? No, its value is coming from here, right? Okay, yeah. Okay. Because I can't mirror things, Garion has saved me. This cell mirrors to here. Well, this cell's at least 5. So therefore I can't make this yellow. That is quite nice. So in fact, these are 3 and 1, and that's the 3, and that's the 1. Which makes this cell yellow because otherwise the things don't work. The 3 would be more than 3. And now, because I can't have a checkerboard in these puzzles, that becomes yellow, which makes that blue, which then by checkerboards makes that yellow, which makes that yellow, which makes that blue. This is a minimum of 4, at least. So it's either 4 or 5, or if this is also yellow, then it's 7, right? I think 4, 5, and 7 are the only things it can be. I don't think it can actually be 6, because if I make both of these yellow, then it jumps by 2. I don't think that matters, but I think it actually is 4, 5, 7 in this instance. Wait, the sight lines also... Oh, crap. The sight lines don't work that way. The sight lines only work that way in blue. The sight lines also use the value. Okay, I kind of hate that. So this is the cell that's a 4, 5, or 7 because of that. That's disgusting. We shall live somehow, I think. We can persevere through this Scojo-induced adversity. Let's see. Gonna be hard to put a 1 in this 12 cage as a value, at least. 1's not... Oh, 1 is placed in box 4. Yeah, 1 is placed in box 4 just by Sudoku, because this 1, 2 looking over. I was thinking you were trying to tell me that you were making the same mistake I just did, but you were not. You were just doing Sudoku. This cell mirrors over to here. And so this cell is in a 5 cage. So this has got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's not 1 or 3. So it's 2 or 4 is my options for what this can be. If it was 4, that is a triple, I agree. If it was 4, I would need to make this cell a 1, and I can't make this cell a 1 or that cell a 1. So I can't actually make this a 4. So it's actually a 2 even. So that's a 2. These are a 3, 4. That's a 1 and a 2. This thing at least has a value of 3, but we actually learn that it can't reflect to there because of the given 3. So the value of 3 actually takes place here, which actually tells me that both of these are yellow, which tells me that's yellow to avoid a checkerboard. That makes the blue grow out to here, which is going to make that quite a thing. I am going to pencil mark this column 6, 7, sorry, 5, 6, 7 is what is left in this column. This 18 cage is going to be tricky now. Let's see. What are those two cells reflecting to? Those two, I want to say. Okay. This cell has to be... Oh, no, sorry. That's not true. This is already seeing 4. Sorry. I was getting overexcited. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Let's see. Laura says I'm misunderstanding the rules of how the yellows work. Or, sorry, how the sightlines in yellows work. It says the value of that cell indicates how many cells of the same color are seen. So the value of the cell is the one from the reflected thing, I think. So I think I'm right, although I don't swear that's true. It is true these are at least 4 or 5. So they definitely include a 4, because if they don't include a 4, then they're at least 5, 6. In fact, actually, 4 or 5 is the maximum they could possibly be, right? Because the minimum I can possibly make these is 1, 1. So yeah, so these are 4 or 5. One of these is a 1. That does a few things. One is it makes this a 7, which tells me that these are both yellow, because that 7, remember, is for that cell. That corner marked 1 makes that a 2. I don't think there's any way this can be blue anymore, right? Because if this is blue, then it means these two sum to at most 8, and I'd need this to be a 10. So this cell's definitely yellow by Sudoku-age. It's that 4 or 5, and then this is a 4 or 5. Don't see anything there right away. Yeah, we definitely get the reflected 1. We get the reflected 1 from one of these two, but that one sees a 1 by Sudoku. So we get the reflected 1 from there is AFK's point. And that one is that cell. So that's the not. That's the... Somehow we ended up in pen tool mode. So that's the other one. Okay, this cell now has to have a value of 2. So that's a 2. Uh-oh. And we broke it. Right? This is just broken. Oh, no, this cell already has a value of 2. Sorry. This cell already has a value of 2. I just reflected wrong. 2 is here just by Sudoku, I notice, while we are doing things that are Sudoku. This is yellow because otherwise we'd make a 2 by 2, which makes this yellow because otherwise we'd make a checkerboard. This is blue to avoid making a 2 by 2. 3 in box 4 is in one of these. Uh-oh. Oh, no. 3 in box 4 is here. Sorry. The little chair needs to escape, so those are both blue. I like that point. That makes that blue as well to avoid a 2x2. That makes that yellow. Let's see. This just is a 4. I can just count it. Which makes that a 4 by Sudoku, which means one of these two is a 4. Yes. It's being pointed out the value of this cell is, if it's yellow, is not 1 or 2, so therefore it needs to be blue. I agree, which makes that blue. Okay, and so now this cell has to be yellow, because if this cell is not yellow, then it's blue, and now this cell is at least a 6, which is too big. So this cell is yellow. Okay, and so that forces these to both be yellow so that the yellow can connect. Oh, I could have just done the yellow connectivity to start with. Good point. I did not see that. Do I know anything about these cages? Oh, no, sorry. These cages don't reflect to each other. These just reflect to these. I don't really want to do the math on this cage, I'll be honest. Let's see. I'm being told I can finish ones. Yeah, so there's a 1 there. And a 1 there. Okay, and the 1 here means it must be yellow. This is very satisfying, by the way, this puzzle. I know these can't both be blue. So these are 1 blue and 1 yellow, which I kind of want to do to something, but I also don't really. Let's see. This cell reflects over here. Let's see. The value of this cell. The value of this cell is 4, points out Emma. I can count. And so that reflects over to this cell. So that's the 4 and that's the 5, which now, unfortunately, that's not helpful. I already knew that wasn't a 5, but what can you do? Let's see. What is left in this column? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. So this is a 5. So we either get a blue there and or a blue here and a yellow here. Box 6 has this thing in it, which is a 6, which makes that a 5, making these an 8, 9 pair and these a 5, 6, 7 to finish out that. There's... I don't know what the value of this is. It could be as high as 9. This is the only cell left in its box. It is a 3, which seems fair. See, this row only has a pair, except that one of them is a 3, and it's that one by Sudoku. And so now this one is a 6. Okay, these digits are a 5, 7. Oh, they're 5, 7, 8, 9? Actually, oh no, sorry, I was going to say something dumb. Yeah, I think they are 5, 7, 8, 9, but I don't really want to do that. I see. So this sum is 2 plus and then double this value, because that value is this value, and this value is also in the cage. So you can just make it 8. Right? Except everyone is saying it's 7, 9, and I don't understand why. Oh, that's not how you rotate, right? I'm reflecting, not rotating. Right, it rotates to there. Right, so this is that value plus this value. So these two need to sum to 16. So that's a 7, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. One of these two is a 6. I don't think I care about that. In fact, I'm certain I don't care about that. I don't think reflect about a point is a defined operation. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Let's see. Gary says this needs a value of at least 4. Do we know this thing isn't 9 wherever this reflects to? I think it's randomly here. I don't think I know this isn't a 9, do I? Let's see. So if I look at the mirror of this, it mirrors to that, but the yellows... That's the one. So we're summing 5 plus these 3 numbers. Are you just like setting that point as the origin and then negating the vector that points from one to the other? Is that what you're doing to do point reflection, AFK? I guess that somewhat makes sense, although it doesn't feel like it's rotating. But maybe it is. Yeah, I guess it is, right? Yeah, I guess, yeah, exactly what I said is exactly what's happening when you rotate twice, is that you just draw the vector from row 5, column 5 to the point, and then just negate the vector, and so you end up over there. I think that's exactly what's happening. I think AFK is correct. Let's see. Being told this can't be yellow by Yin-yang? I have no idea what people are trying to tell me about this cage. I'm gonna look elsewhere. Let's see. What is left here? We've got 6, 7, 8. One of those is an 8, but that doesn't matter. Let's see. 2s. I know one of these two is a 2. Sadly, I don't know it's not that one. I don't understand the it needs to see at least 4. I only see that it needs to see at least 3 because I don't know that the cell that matches it isn't a 9, is what I told Garion before. Yeah, it's very reasonable to pencil mark this based on the sight lines for this. So this is currently seeing 3 things. So it either sees 3 things, 4 things, but can't, or then it jumps straight to 6 things. So it certainly is 3 or 6. Uh, uh, oh, you're not using the cage at all. You're just saying this cell can't be 1, 2, or 3. Okay, got it, Garian. That I was overcomplicating it, and then it confused me because the number I got was 1 off from the number you got, and so I assumed I had to be doing the right thing, but not clever enough. But in fact, we were doing completely different things. So Garian's point is the sightlines clue for this goes in this cell, so it's at least 4. And if we make this cell blue, then we can't make this at least 4 because we would have to make all of these yellow, and that creates 2 by 2s like crazy. So therefore, that cell is yellow, which makes these both blue, which then makes these both yellow, which then makes that blue. And so now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that makes that digit a 7 in order to make that work. So that is not a 7. And so now this is a 5 because 7 plus 5 is 12. It's very fancy. Okay, let's see. And so now this is just a 3. And so that is a 3 down there. Somewhat pointlessly, but we'll take it. Actually, I guess it does give me a 3 here by Sudoku, so it does do something. It's not literal nothing. Okay, I guess I have to do this. Okay, so it's not those 3, and it's not that one. So this is 5 plus 3 is 8, which means these two need to sum to 15. So in particular, that one's not 2. These are from 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's not a 7, so that one's not an 8. And that's a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple. So these are 2, 4, 5 left over. That's not a 4. That's not a 2. And sure. Okay, 4 in this box. No, I don't know anything about that. 5 in this box. I don't know anything about. Row 2, column 5's circle is here. The value is here, AFK. So the 3 has already been filled in. Unless you see a different circle somewhere. Let's see. Do I know anything about 2s? Not really. I don't think I know one of these 2's a 2. Oh, right. Now this has come into its own right. The 5 had 2 options before, but once we wrecked through this, Isabella points out, now the 5 only has 1 option, which makes that yellow, which then makes that yellow. And now this blue needs to connect. And so Now I think we've filled out every clue, and so we just have to do Sudoku, I think. It feels like that can't be true, but I don't see any clues we haven't filled in. What clue haven't we filled in? It's possible I just haven't Sudoku'd hard enough, but I feel like this feels like the coloring must have meant something, but I don't think it meant anything. Yeah, these two sum to 15, which they're pencil marked for. We already have that. That 15 cage just tells us that these two sum to 15. They can't include a 9. Oh, that's disgusting. So D-Web's point is that this cell can't be a 9 because there's a 9 looking at it. This cell can't be a 9 because there's an 8-9 pair. I guess I'll like D-Web's point a lot more if I corner mark 9 in this box. I think that's really how to make D-Web's point look nice. Because if I corner mark 9 in this box, then I just see I've got my little Zackwing on 9s, and it rules 9 out of both of these, which rules 6 out of both of them, which fixes it. Then I have no complaints about the step. 9, 6, 8, 7, 6, 8, 7, 9, 8, 9. Yeah, it was seeable but gross as a like general like, oh, where is 9 in column 1 point, but it was pleasant by the time you sort of did a corner mark first. 5. Let's see. 5, 4, 7, 6, 8. Oops. 9, 7. Very nice. 6. It's nicer with more Zach. Most things are nicer with more Zach. 5, 6, 9, 8. I feel like this is something that would become intuitive if I did more puzzles of this sort. But I enjoyed most of what happened here. I feel like if it were me, I would not make the sightlines values depend on the reflection. I would put the actual value in the like these sorts of things. But I mean, it just makes the wording simple if you pencil mark something first. If you say, like, you can say, where is 9 in column 1, but it's not a very motivated question without that. I mean, I didn't think the puzzle was too mean overall, Scojo. I thought that the puzzle was quite gentle overall. Like, I mean, you couldn't have been nicer than the break-in here. Like, I really appreciated, especially, I mean, granted, I saw when I checked the LMD page, because I was like, maybe I should pull up an example puzzle and show what this looks like, but there wasn't an example puzzle, but instead there was a list to the 12 previous puzzles in the series. So admittedly, it may be my fault that this is the first one I'm doing. But I thought that this was a very gentle break-in because you sort of see this. And also it immediately meant that I didn't get screwed over by my thinking that reflection was the same as rotation, because they are not the same, in fact. I seem to recall teaching something about reflection matrices and rotation matrices not being the same thing. Row 2, column 5, and row 8, column 5 keep reflecting to each other infinitely. Yeah, I guess that is true. Alrighty, but I'm going to take a quick break and come back and do another puzzle, so see everyone in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. We have a clover puzzle that looks like a killer puzzle, but is actually an arrow puzzle. So we have normal Sudoku rules apply, and in each cage there is one digit that equals the sum of the other digits in the cage. Digits may repeat in cages if allowed by Sudoku rules. So basically, one cell in each cage is an arrow circle, and the others are the others sum to that, but you can repeat as long as you are allowed to. I feel like I did a J. Dyer puzzle with this rule set at some point in my life, but I could be wrong. Let's see. So all of these cages, if I'm not mistaken, are 4 cells, and so any of them where all the digits see each other, the sum digit is a 6, 7, 8, 9, and the other digits are at most 6, which is annoying because you'd like to sort of partition those into 2 splits. But not quite. And probably we're going to have to shove a 9 and a 6 in a cage somewhere. Hey, Clover, how are you doing? In order to make this work. But yeah, when we have cages that do weird things like cross boxes, David is pointing out this cage could be a 4-1-1-2 cage, for example. Now, maybe actually the correct digit to ask about is ones, because the only way, if it's in any of these, let's see, I'm going to probably highlight the cages that behave well, and then we'll go ahead and highlight all of these in my sort of generic. So, and then I'm going to give the other cages the 2. I guess there's only 2 naughty cages here. I'm going to highlight those in yellow to attempt to remind myself that those 2 behave weirdly. Oh, why is this one highlighted? I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. It knows what it did. Okay. So basically, all of these cages either contain a 1 or are exactly 2, 3, 4, 9. Those are the 2 universes. And so I kind of wanted to count these and see if I know anything like, for example, in rows 1, 2, and 3, there are 4 cages, and there's only 3 ones, so at least one of these has to be 9, 2, 3, 4. It's even. Oh, I guess it's. Yeah, so the same thing is true here-ish. In fact, actually, it sort of looks like I'm supposed to look at these cells first, almost. Like, I might be able to just prove outright that this cell has to be the circle. Because if this cell can't be the circle. But anyway, in these rows, we again need to have a 9, 2, 3, 4 cage. And in these rows, we need to have a 9, 2, 3, 4 cage. So there's at least 3 9, 2, 3, 4 cages present in the puzzle. Now, there could be more, but I guess maybe that's the next question is it actually possible that 2 of these are 9, 2, 3, 4? I'm afraid the answer is yes. I think it is possible that 2 of these are 9, 2, 3, 4, if it's like those 2. So AFK wants to think about 1s, 2s, and 3s collectively instead. So the reason why I thought about 1s instead of 1s, 2s, and 3s AFK is because I knew the statement that if it doesn't have a 1, it's exactly this. And I liked the idea of nailing down these cages have to be exactly 9, 2, 3, 4. But I agree we can also try and sort of count that all of these need at least 2 1, 2, 3s. And I don't know if that's that exciting because that's only 8 1 2 3s and there's 9 1 2 3s, and I think it's 8 for all of these, right? Uh, I guess technically, actually, maybe for these rows, actually, I think for these rows, actually, we might have all of them. Because if I look at rows 6 through, or sorry, if I look at rows 4 through 9, which are divorced from rows 1 through 3, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cages. So that's to say that I need 27. Sorry, that's to say that I need 18 1, 2, 3s, which is exactly how many I have. So here in this, so actually this is going to be the break-in. That's crazy. I didn't think the yellow cage was going to be the break-in, but that means that these are going to be from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I assumed the yellow cage wasn't going to be interesting until the end game, but this actually at least vaguely suggests that it has 2 abnormally large digits, and unfortunately ruins David's hope that this would be a 4, 1, 2, 1 cage. Okay, so that probably now means there's got to be a 1, 2, 3 in here, right? If there's no 1, 2, 3 in here, then the sum of this arrow is a bajillion d million d. And so because we can't have an arrow that sums to a bajillion d million d, this needs to have a 1, 2, 3. And it can only have 1, 1, 2, 3, because remember when we counted up here, we knew we had used 8 of the things. So that's 8 1, 2, 3s. We only have 1 left. So there's 1, 1, 2, 3 in here, because otherwise we don't work. And so therefore all of these are also from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And interestingly, that means we don't have any arrows summing to 6. Because we now know that every cage, except the yellow one, has only 2 of 1, 2, 3 in it. The yellow one only has 1 of 1, 2, 3 in it. So if you think about what does it have to be, it means I'm summing 2 numbers that are bigger than, or that are at least 4. So yeah, that forces it to be a 4, 4, 1, 9. So I actually know there's a 1 in here. And so these numbers are all from 1, 4, 9, and these are a 4, 9 over here. So there's a 1 in these cells, which is interesting. Because whichever one of the... that is gorgeous. That is amazing. This cage is not 9, 2, 3, 4, because it would break that cell. So this cage has a 1 in it. That is gorgeous. And so therefore the 1 in this cage, which has to exist because, again, it doesn't sum to 9, is over here, which makes that not 1, which makes this a 9, 2, 3, 4 cage, which lets us take 4 and 9 out of these cells to help sort of keep track of what's happening. Okay, so that's good. Okay, and so now these digits, if I look at them, they only have 1, 1, 2, 3 in them. And so therefore this cell needs to be a 1, 2, 3, but not a 1. So this is always a 2, 3. The sum's always over here. Okay. Oh, by the way, these aren't 9 or 4 anymore. In fact, actually, maybe I should ask myself where the 7 is going in this row. Because the 7 in this row is definitely over here, right? There's no question. I can't shove the 7 anywhere and get away with it. Because the 7 can't be the sum of a cage in this row. Oh, maybe that cell... sorry, maybe this cage could sum to 7. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so these digits, by the way, we can probably figure out because they are from, well, 1, 5. And so the least this can sum to is, in fact, this has to be 1, 2, 5, 8 is actually the only thing this cage can be if you sort of minimize it, right? Because I can't put 1, 5 is the smallest numbers I can put on the arrow in this box, plus 2 is the smallest number I can put here. And so this is, in fact, 1, 2, 5, 8. And we get a first digit of a 2. And bring out Zach for the 2 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doop. Dooka, dooka, dooka. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Dooka, dooka, dooka. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Dooka, dooka, dooka. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I don't believe that this is a new digit dance. So those are 6, 7, and there's another digit left in the row that I don't think I've ever heard of. Because I'm pretty sure all of these digits, every digit is there. I know it's a 3. But no, the digit dance anywhere. Yes, it is a 3. I've not heard of that one before. Okay, so this is a 3. So there's a 3 in here. It's certainly summing. So now the minimum that this can sum to is 1, 3, 4, which would be 8. So funnily enough, this is either 1, 3, 4 summing to 8 or 1, 3, 5 summing to 9. So that's a virtual 4, 9 pair between these two. So none of these cells are 4 or 9. Which is probably not going to be the thing that cracks it, I'll be honest with you. But what can you do? Right. There's only 1 9 in this cage. So those are 1 4. That is also true. So those aren't 4. Let's see. So if this is the 1, this will be 9, 2, 3, 4. And if this is the 1, this will be 9, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I know what's going on with that yet. One of these is getting a 1. Garion suggests counting lows in these 2 boxes, which seems wise. So each of these 3 cages contains 2 of 1, 2, 3. And so therefore that's all of 1, 2, and 3 that are available in these 2 boxes. So therefore that digit is a 4, making that a 1 and a 9 and a 4, making this 1, 3, 4, 8. So none of those are 8s. There's no 4 over down here. This is my 9, 2, 3, 4 cage now because it doesn't have a 1, except the 4 is placed within it by the magic known as Sudoku, a lost art to our time. Okay, so there's no 4 over there. There is a 4 up here somewhere, but this cage definitely contains a 1. I'm going to mark... Oh, and in fact, it's definitely there. So there's definitely a 1 up here somewhere, and a 4. One of these cages, though, needs to be 9, 2, 3, 4, because there's only one... there's only one left to go around. And so... Oh, not quite. Close. Yeah, one of these is 9, 2, 3, 4. I think probably if I think about it in a moment, I'll know which one, but I don't seem to know which one yet. So aren't 4, 9. That's not 4. Okay, so this cage has a 1 while we're at it. Because it's not 2, 3, 4. So there's a 1 over down here. And there's a 4 over down here. Like that. And a similar story over down in this part of the world. Yeah, row 4 has all of 2, 3, 4 already. Oh, in fact, we know this cage sums to 8 is a thing that I should probably notice. Because it can't sum to 6 or 7. That's really nice. So it in fact sums to 8, and we know how it sums to 8. It sums to 8 as 1, 2, 5. So we actually know that this is a 1, 2, 5, 8, which means this. Oh crap! It could sum to 9. You're right. Sorry. Absolutely, it could sum to 9. So it sums to either 8 as 1, 2, 5, or 9 as 1, 3, 5. Right. So it always has a 5 in it, I guess, is what we actually know. But it's less good than I thought. So it's got a 1, it's got a 2 or a 3. Okay, so does it being 1, 2, 5, 9, 1, 2, 5, 8 break? I don't know. Okay, Alima's point about row 4 was actually a point about row 3, which was that this cage can't be 9, 2, 3, 4 because it would put 5 9, 2, 3, 4s in row 3. And so if this isn't 9, 2, 3, 4, it can't have the 4 because the 4 has to go with the 9, 2, 3, 4. And so this has to have the 1 instead, making this 9, 2, 3, 4. Neither of those is the 4, of course. That's not the 2. That's not the 3. This isn't a 1. So we've got that over there. There's a 2, 3, 9. Oh, we can clean up the 9s in box 1. I agree. I do agree with Kloppa that there seems to be a 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruple in this column, which makes sense. So these, sorry, a 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think I said the right numbers. So these are just a 1, 2, 3 in some order. Emma points out these can't be a 2-3 pair because if these are a 2-3 pair, this cage breaks. So one of these has to be the 9, so neither of these is the 9. Over here. These cells need to have 4, 1, 2, 3s in them again. So that means I need to have at least 1, 1, 2, 3 over here, but that's not that helpful yet. But I could imagine it being helpful later. Garion wisely points out this digit is not 1. Because if this digit is 1, then this cage in the column is 2, 3, 4, 9. Which breaks that cell. So that digit is not 1, meaning this has a 1 in it. But now this cage doesn't have a 1 in it. And so now it is 2, 3, 4, 9. Meaning that those aren't 4, of course. And that, in fact, is the 4 out of my 2, 3, 4, 9. So these are 2, 3, 9. Those aren't 9. So these are... Okay, so funnily enough, this cage can't sum to 8. So it has to sum to 7. No, can't sum to 7 either. Wait. Oh, sorry, it can sum to 8. Or 9, actually. Sorry, it can sum to 9 if the 9 is up here. Yeah, these would have to be 1, 5 and 2, 8 if it is in fact summing to 8. There is a 239 triple in this column. I agree with that. Let's see. Get our 4 over there. So we now know one of these is 2349, and we know which one. But the way I know that is because I have 3 things highlighted. I have 3 total things highlighted. I know there's a 1 in one of these two, so these can't both have ones in them. And it can't be this one that doesn't have a 1 because it's not 2349. So this is the one that doesn't have a 1, which means that's the one. And this is 2349. Not a 3, not a 2, no 4 or 9 over here. Uh-oh, what did I actually take out? No 4 or 9 over there. I deleted some random digits instead. So now this cage we know has a 1 in it because it's not 2349. But that 1 is not in this row because we know this cage has a 1 in it. So it's down here, which actually lets me corner mark that one of those is a 1. Let's see. This cell can get cleaned up a little bit because we've got a 158. So neither of these is a 58. Oops. So they are a 6-7 pair. Okay, I know that this box doesn't end up summing to 7. That's a smart spot from AFK. If I look at this 5, 6, 7 triple in this row, the 5 in it is in this box, so that's not a 5. I did warn my students that that was one of my favorite steps in Sudoku, so that they should be on the lookout for that pattern if they're ever doing one of my puzzles. So those aren't 5. So one of these two is 5. Okay. So do we have all the cages that are 2, 3, 4, 9 now? I think so. Which must have been a bear for setting this because we've kind of needed every clue in order to get this far, but there's still lots of solve path to go. Took you a year and a half to set. I'm not surprised. Yeah, because the fact that the break-in requires almost all of the cages in the puzzle is not great for having a nice Cloverian solve path emerge naturally. Okay, this doesn't sum to 7. So this cage definitely sums to 8 now. Because remember, no cage sums to 6. This can't sum to 9 because there's a 9 up here. And 7 would be 1, 2, 4, which it can't be. So this cage definitely sums to 8, which means at the very least these digits aren't 8. That one's not 9 either because there's a 9 up there that I never mentioned. Oh, that is nice. That is very cool, Sudoku. Or sorry, very cool Sudoku. Very cool Clover. The Sudoku at the beginning of your name, I said, yeah. And it's not 1, 3, 4 if I trust DWeb, right? Because 1, 3, 4 would require that. So it's got to be 8, 1, 2, 5. And so now that actually places that's a 2 and that's a 3 and that's sorry. That's a 2 and that's a 9. Sorry, no. That's a 9 and that's a 3. Good Lord. Okay. 18th time's the charm, as they always say. So there's no 2 in here. So this is minimum 1, 3, 5, 9. So those are 3, 5, and 9. Those aren't 5 and 9. Okay, so that's not an 8 is the sort of worst deduction ever, but I technically know that there's an 8 in these cells and an 8 in these cells, so that's not an 8. I guess you could say the 8 in row 1 is over here if you wanted it to sound slightly better. That's not a 9. That's not a 3. That's not a 9 either. Oh, right. These aren't 5 anymore. Oops. Because of that. Quite a spoonful. Very nice. Okay, so that 6, 7 goes here. So this digit's not a 5. So one of these two is an 8. So that's not an 8, which is, I guess... Oh, I know where the 8 goes in this row now, then. Because the only cell that's marked 8 is that one. Which means that's an 8. Now I feel like that was going to tell me something else, right? That's not a 1 anymore. That's not a 1 anymore. That's now a 2, so that's a 3. Which seems to make that a 1, a 2, a 5, and a 1. This isn't a 2, 3. That's not a 5 or an 8. That's not an 8. That's not a 2. So the 2's down here, but I guess I already knew that. Well, I would have already known that if I had paid closer attention to the Sudoku that was happening. Okay, there's a 6, 7 pair here, which makes that a 5. So that's not a 5. Let's see. What is left in this column? Seems to be a 6, 7, right? So that seems to make that digit an 8 and that digit a 5 or a 9 at least. So this is a 4, 5, or 9. That's not an 8. Let's see. There's probably more Sudoku to do, would be my guess. Yeah, one of these two's a 4. Oh, there's a 6, 7 pair in this column. See, I told you there was probably more Sudokuing to do. So that gives me that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Todd points out this just can't be a 5, because if it's a 5, what on earth is this arrow? And it's not summing to 6 or 7 if this is a 5, so it's summing to at least 12, which is not going to work well. So, in fact, that's the 5. That is a good spot to Todd. So those two are the same digit. That's probably not very interesting. Okay, there's a 5 and an 8 up here. I don't think that's very interesting. There is a 6, 7 pair in this column. That's true. Everyone say bless you to Tristan. Okay, so this now sums to 8 or 9. If it's 9, it's as 1, 3, 5. If it's 8, it's as 1, 2, 5. Ah, it can't be 8, right. Legitimate businessman said it just as I saw it. If this cage is 8, it's 1, 2, 5, and then row 1, column 1 has no value. So this cell, in fact, is a 9 cage, and it's 9, 1, 3, 5 is the only option. That one's not a 9 or a 3, so that one's actually the 5, which makes that an 8. Let's see. These digits, let's make sure they work out. They are 1, 2, 5, and 8. See, I told you they were going to be 1, 2, 5, and 8, and people didn't believe me. They were all like, wow, 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 you didn't prove it. Wow, 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 why can't it be 9? I told you. See, I told you. Okay. We've got the 2, 9 over there. That's a 3, 9 pair even. Always can count on Laura for the Sudoku spot. Let's see. I know one of these is a 5 just by I don't know, some sort of chicanery, we'll say. Could this cage possibly sum to 8? If so, it would have to be 8, 1, 3, 4. Don't think I see that this can't be 8, 1, 3, 4 immediately. Gary is pointing out this cage needs a second low digit, so this has to be a 2 or a 3. Might be useful. 3 causes problems. Chad is pointing out this is an interesting thing. Yeah, nothing works with a 3 because if your arrow has a 3 on it, then you have to ask yourself what happens with this 6, 7. Well, if the sum is 6 or 7, it doesn't work. And if the sum includes a 6 or 7, it doesn't work. So this is just always 2. Okay, and so this is a 6 to make that work, so that's a 7. That has become a 3. That has become a 6 and a 7. And a 3. And a 2 and a 6 and a 7 and a 6. And a 6 and a 7 and a 7 and a 6. And a 7 and a 9 and a 6 and a 7 and a 3. 9 and 3, 8 and 1. 2 and 9, 7, 6, 8. 4 and 1, 5 and 2, 5 and 6. What a puzzle. That I'm not surprised that Clover says this took a year and a half in order to make at all. But wow, what a puzzle. 1 and 5, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it was very intuitive where to look, at least, throughout that. That was just, I was very surprised that this turned out to be the break-in and not the disambiguating thing at the end. That part definitely surprised me. But yeah, what a cool idea. Alrighty, I am going to take a quick stretch, and I'll be back in just a moment. How old is this puzzle? Let's see. Yeah, it was published on LMD on September 1st. So I don't know if it existed much before it was published on LMD, but that's what I know. Anyway, I will be back in just a moment, so see everyone shortly. Welcome back. Next up, we have an Arrow-Renbon puzzle. Always a good way to get me to do a puzzle, to have some mix of... I'll go for pure Arrow puzzles sometimes, but anything that's like Arrow plus a single variant, it almost doesn't matter what the single variant is, I'll usually do it. So somehow lately, I feel like I've done a ton of Arrow plus entropic lines puzzles, to the point where maybe I won't throw the 30th Arrow plus entropic lines puzzle into the bucket. But generally, that's a great sort of combo. So we have Square Pegs Round Hole by Flinty, by the way. I'm sure I've done a puzzle by Flinty before, but it might have been a bit. All right, so we have arrows. So the circle is the sum of the digits along the arrow. And then we have not a whole lot of Renbon, honestly, but one of them is very long, which need to be a string of consecutive digits in any order. And so, as DWeb points out, the very first thing we should probably do in this puzzle is center mark this cell, because we know this length 5 Renbon contains a 5, and therefore this digit can't be a 5. So we could do that. Now, I kind of wanted to say it can't be a 1 either, but I think it actually might be able to be a 1. Because I think if this is a 1 and a 2, they could still make this 3, 4 with something like that. See, Garion wants to do set stuff. I don't know. The fact that these are offset in this way makes it seem like that's not going to work very well. But I could well be wrong. Like, I feel like if I wanted to make this a set, I would definitely want to include box 5, row 5, column 5. But then I still feel like I'm sort of sneaking around some things. It's very difficult to cover all of any of these arrows. Let's see. But it's very possible. I mean, I'm open to it, but I don't... It doesn't quite scream it to me. So we've got some sort of like bizarro, like what's the minimum these things can be, but okay, so let's try some of the suggestions. So some people are suggesting take these versus column 1, column 9. I feel like this is very unlikely because this is listed on LMD as being a 3-star puzzle, and I don't think a non-standard set is particularly likely to show up as a 3-star puzzle on LMD, but we'll use that. Okay, so basically I can sort of cancel the second of each of these circles, because they show up in both the row and the column. So I can cancel them and leave only a red here, so we can get rid of the yellow and the blue if we want. We can delete all of these. Like that. We can delete these two. We can delete these. Okay, this definitely feels correct. So yeah, this has definitely got to be what the intention is, because what we've learned is the red cells have the same sum as the yellow cells, and so the yellow cell has to be a 9. So this has definitely got to be what's intended. So that's a 9. We could bring out Zach for the 9 dance. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wee! Ba-doop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So these are all 1, 2 in order to make that work. Okay. Yes. And so now, where do the 1 and the 2 go in box 1? Points out DWeb. Not in these cells or these cells, and also not in that one. So these are just a 1-2 pair with a 3. Crazy. Okay. So we know one of these has a 1 and one of them has a 2. So these are each at least 4. You will be happy to hear. Okay, well, this isn't 1 or 2 anymore. Right. This arrow now is minimum 3, 4. Plus 1, which is 8, which is also the only thing it can be. So this is 3, 4, 1, and 8 because it can't be 9. Very good spot for Mekti there. 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay, we don't yet know that there's no 1 on this Renbon, I don't think. Oh, we do know there's no 1 on this Renbon, but only in ridiculous ways. So these are at least 2, 3, so that's at least 5. So this is certainly only 3 or 4. So this is at least 2, 3 plus 3, which is 8. So this can only possibly be 8 or 9, by the way. Let's see. It's funny that this was set, but the set didn't involve the Renbon. When, like, Renbon very often get used as patsies in a set puzzle. But the Renbon are just for later. There does have to be a 2 on this, right? If there's no 2 on this, I mean, I think even just by Sudoku, I could argue that there's a 2 on this, but just by a matter, these can't sum to 7. So there's definitely a 2 on here, and the 2 always goes, even a 5 is too big. So they are from 2, 3, 4. So this can't be a 3, if we would like to say silly things. Okay, so it's being pointed out the 9 is certainly in one of these 2 cells within this box, and so the 9 over down here is over down here somewhere. Oh, there's also a 9 in box 2, which goes in one of those 2 cells, and that's quite handy because it makes that an 8. Thank you. So this is neither 8 nor 9 now. Also, the fact that this is an 8 probably means it's minimized at 2, 3, 3. So there's a 3 over here. There's an 8 over here somewhere. Oh yeah, we've got aligning 2s and 3s uh, across these. So 2 and 3 are both in this column, points out Emma. And so now there's no 3 on this long Renbon either. So if there's no 3, that means this Renbon is from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It certainly has an 8, because otherwise it doesn't have enough. So it actually has a 5, a 6, a 7, and an 8. So this is a 4, which tells me that, in fact, this Renbon just is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where the 8 is definitely down here. Oops. That 4 can only go with a 5 there. So that's a 3 and a 4. That's a 2 and a 3. That's a 1 and a 2. So we've got all of that going in. Let's see. These are just the remainder of the 6, 7, 9. Marking row 5, column 5 did pay off big time. I mean, you knew as soon as the break-in was that it was only from 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. You knew it was going to play a central role in the solve. Let's see. Okay, the 8 in this box we now know is in one of these two cells, for whatever that is worth. Oh, we actually know which of those two cells even, because we have this 8 looking up, so the 8's actually there. So these are, just for the record, 5, 6, 7, 9, with those not being 9. Oh, this can't be 9 anymore, by the way. So now that's a 9, which is very boring. So that's a 9, which is slightly less boring. That's not a 9. Okay, we know there's a 1 or a 2 on this arrow. So this is either 1, 8 or 2, 7, because I can't put both 1, 2s on the same arrow. So that's not an 8, so that's not a 1. Man, I was so proud of that. I thought that was going to be useful, but I don't think that's the point, very sadly. Yeah, this can't be 6 anymore because that we actually have a 5, 6, 7 triple in this column. So actually these are 2, 3, 4 even. But yes, I agree. That cell's not 6 because that would make this Renbon 5, 7, and 5, 7 isn't a good-looking Renbon. Apologies to 5, 7, the Renbon. Hey, Kodak, how are you doing? Okay, so this is 5, 6, 7 only, I believe. Yeah, this digit is big. It's at least a 5. So it's 5, 6, 7 only. Plus 2, 3, 4. So this is a 7, 8, 9, which is not exciting, but we'll fill it in. Mekdi points out this digit in row 5 has to go somewhere, and the only place it can go is there, so this is not a 5. And so therefore one of these is a 5. Oops. Therefore these aren't 5. Let's see. So Isaiah encourages me to mark this. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It could be 5. Can't be 5. Could be 6. Could be 7. Can't be 8. Can't be 9. So this is a 6 or a 7. Which interestingly means that this digit can only be a 5 because that's a 6, 7 pair. So the Renbon can't be 6, 7. It has to be either 5, 6 or 7, 8. But it can't be 7, 8 because the 8's already in the box. So this is 6, 5. Makes that 7, 7. Means that's not a 6. That's not a 7. Those aren't 6. Okay. So the 6 on this Renbon definitely sees that cell. Because it's only in one of these 3 spots anymore. So this isn't a 6, it's a 9. I'm making that a 7 and that a 9. Making that a 6, apparently. So these are now just a 7-8 pair, which goes well with the fact that those are a 5-9 pair. So those aren't 7 anymore. Also, this seems to be solely a 5, which seems to mean it goes with a 6 and a 7, which seems to make that a 5. This seems to be sphenable. It seems to be a 4. Neither of these is 7, so now this is 1-8 by my previous point about there needing to be a 1 or a 2. There's now a 2 on this arrow, and it goes there. See, that's not 8 anymore by Sudoku, so that's not 3. It's only 2 or 4. One of those is 3. These are some digits, one of which is a 1, one of which is a 6, and one of which is a 9, and I'm willing to bet that's not the 1. This can't be a 6-3-3 arrow or a 6-1-5 arrow, but it can annoyingly still be a 6-2-4 arrow. Or a 9-2-7 arrow, probably. Let's see. There's a 7 up here somewhere. There's an 8 exactly there, actually. What is left? Oh, this is a naked single. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6. Okay, what is left for these two? One of them is a 4. Who knows which one? And one of them is a 5, and I do know which one. So now this can't be 6 because that would require a 2-4. So now this is a 9. And 2 and 7 are... So here's how to say this. 2 and 7 go in these 3 cells. So at least one of them goes on the arrow, which means the other one does too, which makes this a 2-7 arrow. And then I don't have to think about what this is other than to count through and see that it's a 6. Let's see. One of these is a 1. One of them's a 3. And one of them's a 5. Not that one. Okay, well, if this was a 3, it would make the arrow add to 6, which it can't. So it's a 1, which makes the arrow add to 8. And so these are a 4 and a 9, apparently. Let's see. What about these two? One of these is a 3. One of them's a 4. Which seems to make this 5 or 6, and somehow it's undecided. What about this digit? It's not 1, 2, 3. Looks to me like it could be 4. It's not 5, 6. Looks to me like it could be 7 or 8. Surprisingly, not useful. Okay, so these aren't 1. They could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so... those aren't 2. This can't... No, this could be a 3, conceivably. I'm not sure. Yes. That's the point. One of these is a 7. Just by the row, that's not a 7. So Garion points out one of these is a 7, which makes that a 9, which makes that a 4, which then proceeds to do a lot of unwinding over here, because that's not a 7 either. It's a 5 and a 9. No 4 over there. Okay, so you can maybe unmark the 7. Those are a 3-7 pair, so that's a 2. And so now it can't sum to 3 anymore. So that's not a 7 either. That is a 3. That's a 4 and a 6 and a 3 and an 8 and an 8 now. 7 and an 8. 2 and a 7. 3 and a 2. 5 and a 3. Okay, and so now this is 1-6, and annoyingly, we don't immediately know the order until we ask Sven nicely, and then Sven kindly tells us the order, which seems to make this digit a 4, this digit a 5. Let's see, what about these two? One of them's a 5, and it's that one. One of them's a 7, and it's that one. It's a 4. It's a 7 and a 6. Very nice. Very original, at least to me. I've never seen a set do quite this much before in terms of this. And it was still quite nice after the set. Like, the set was to me, crazy unexpected. Granted, about half the people in chat seem to have seen it. But I was like, there's no way. How could it possibly? Because I was guessing that if it was a set, it was going to involve this, but it didn't. So it did that, which is nuts. And then it still had a really nice solve. Like, the fact that it placed with this, the 2-1 on this arrow was super cool. And it was very smooth throughout there. So very nice puzzle. All right, I'm going to take a quick moment to stretch, and I'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. I have a James Sinclair puzzle here, which I saw CTC sometimes makes their screens or their what are these even thumbnails? There we go. They make their thumbnail a picture of the grid, and I saw this grid plus James Sinclair and was like, well, got to do that one. So our first digit's going to be a 5, I see. So the green lines, we need to keep things at least 5 apart. We've got our purple lines and our arrows. So actually the green lines are the only thing we haven't done yet today. And the key thing about green lines is you can't put 5s on them. And so there's a 5 on this arrow and a 5 on this arrow. I'm pretty sure I could argue also that the 5 can't go in the circle. But those two 5s just look in place of 5 there is what I saw. So this cell will be green. And we'll bring out Zach for the 5 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doop. Woo. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wah. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wee. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. I hear, by the way, Ian mentioned liking the way the short, stubby arrows worked in the previous puzzle, which I agree. Typically, oh, wow, this is monochromatic. Because of the fives looking at it, I wasn't appreciating that. So this is either all high or all low. I don't know which one yet. So this cell is the other thing because this cell sees all of the yellow digits. I am prepared to argue that these aren't 5 because there's 3 low and 3 high digits here. And so in particular, if this were 5, there would be 2 low digits here. That doesn't work. So we know those aren't 5. And probably that means that this digit is high because I add 5 to it. So this is from 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. How bad is it that you immediately understand it when Zeta says it's monochromatic? I don't know. Is that not how words normally work? Let's see. There's definitely a 5 up here. Okay, if this Renbon doesn't have a 5 on it, does it destroy the world in some way I haven't appreciated? Because this is the only cell in this Renbon that could be a 5. Let's see. I know there's a yellow and a purple down here at the very least. Let's see. I know there's 1 more purple and 2 more yellows in these cells. Oh, that's a smart spot. Yeah, okay. So, Garion has noticed that there is a difference between these 2 boxes, which I had not appreciated, which is that this box, the 6 is restricted in a more useful way. In my mind, I was like, oh, well, I sort of looked at 4s and 6s in this box and was like, it's not too interesting. And this was exactly the same, but it's not, because here the 6s can only go in those cells, which is useless. Here the 6s can only go in these cells, which is useful, which is gorgeous, because now this Renbon needs to have a 6 on it, and it's not here. And so the 6 is in this column. In one of those cells. I'm not going to corner mark it, but it is going to place the 6 in this box there. So that is a 6 with a 1, 5. And so now the 4 is in this column, which means that there's a 4. Which means now there's a 4 down here. Gorgeous. Now the 4 in this box goes on this arrow. So that's... The arrow's not 4, 9. I regret to inform you. 4, 5, adding to 9. That is so slick. That is gorgeous. Okay. So we will do that. Like that. So this digit is now a 2, 3, 7, 8, I guess. For what it is worth. I don't know why I pencil marked the 4 on this and didn't pencil mark the 6 on that. We won't talk about that. But anyway, there's a 9 in one of these cells. There's a 1 in one of these cells. Could still be a 9 there. I feel like this coloring is probably the next step, but I don't fully understand it yet. I can do more with this. If I want to torture this more, I know that the 7 in this box is on this whisper. Oh, sorry. No, I guess... No, these two aren't the same color. Right. The 7 is the 7 in this box is up here, right? Is the thing that I should say. Because the 7 needs to go next to the 1 and the 2, and so the 1 is there. The 7 can't go down here because these are opposite colors. And so the 2 is up here, making this 2, 7. Oops, 2, 7. And so now now the 3 in this box needs to go down here because the 3 can't go next to 2 or 7. So this is 3, 6. And so these are 1, 8. That's interesting. I don't think that's not easier for me, D-Web. It's not harder. I'm perfectly happy with it, but it's not. It doesn't immediately go, oh yeah, that's the easy way to do it. Isn't how my brain sort of gets it. But let's try and do it D-Web's way in this box, which I guess would be to say that in this box. Maybe not. Where is 3 in this box? So, no, that's my way to do it. My way to do it would be to say, where's 3 in this box? So, D-Web's way to do it would have to be to ask, where's 7 in this box? So, D-Web wants to ask where 7 is in this box because 7 can't go next to 1 on the whisper, so it has to go over here. And then the 7 can't go next to 1, so it goes next to 2. And now the only 2 digits left are a 3 and an 8. I was looking to see if there was a problem with sort of where 4 and 9 go in this box. 4 either goes here or down here for what it's worth, but I don't immediately see what I'm doing with that. Hey, Drobo, how are you doing? So there's either... Okay, so here's an observation that is, I think, useful. This Renbon either has a 4 on it or a 6 on it. Because 6 is either yellow... Sorry, either 6 is yellow or 4 is yellow. If 6 is yellow, one of these two is 6. And then the 6's look at these cells and actually make that cell a 6. Or 4 is yellow, in which case one of these two is 4, and then the 4's look at this and make that digit a 4. But that digit's not a 4. There we go. This digit's not a 4, because if this digit was a 4, then that digit would be a 9, but that breaks because we have a 4-9 running across either horizontally. So basically, these two cells can't be a 4-9 pair. And that actually does everything. So here's maybe this was more elegant to do this, is to argue first that this cell can't be a 4, and hence that the 4 in this row is down here, and therefore there's not a 4 in yellow, and hence yellow is high. I don't know. Maybe you like that better. Maybe you like the original way better. I don't think I have a huge preference, but either way works. But now that means that one of these two is a 6. It means these cells are orange, although there's probably no point in coloring, honestly, at this point, because we've resolved almost all of the whispers anyway. But one of those is a 6, and therefore the 6 in this box only goes here, which makes that a 1, which makes that a 3, 8, 2, 7, 1, 6. Let's see. So now this is an 8 or a 9. And this is a 2, 3, or 4. Oh, it's not a 4. Oh, it's not a 4 because of down there, right? So that's a 2, 3 pair. Yeah, good point. 1 can be placed here, making these also a 2, 3 pair. So there wasn't a 5 on this Renbon after all. That was the answer. So that's a 6. So we know that... we know there's a 9 over here, I should probably mention. 9 is just placed by Sudoku, because one of those is a 9 because of the 9 looking up. So one of these is a 9, and so the 9 is there. which gives me the 2 and the 9 over here, gives me the 7 and the 4 over here, the 8 and the 3 over there, and tells me that that's a 3 and that's 2. This is beautiful flow for this puzzle. Also, these cells are all not 2 or 3, so I think that's probably important enough to pencil mark, because they see the 2-3 pair there. And that one's also not a 9, so we know even more about it. Let's see. Okay, so we know... Okay, I don't think I yet know exactly what's going on with this long Renbon, but we'll get there someday. What digits are left over here? It's a 4, a 7, and an 8. And that one's not a 4. That one's not a 7, and that one's not an 8. Okay. Now 3 in box 2 is now quite useful, points out AFK. Because 3 in box 2 is just placed here by Sudoku. And so these are an 8-9 pair, which is in fact resolved even. So that's an 8 and that's a 9, which makes that a 7, makes that a 7, makes that a 9, a 4, 8. These are a 6, 8 now. Now this is not 7, 8, or 9. And now this digit is at most a 6. And ergo, this digit can't be 6, 7, or 8. Now, we can just get away with making this 4, 2, 6, I want to say. Oh, yeah, it's certainly not 5. I agree with that. Yeah, I wasn't even contemplating that. But yeah, you're right. That's certainly true. What about this pair? Maybe I want to think about this pair. I guess I can... No, I'll leave the 5 green. Casey is always in our hearts. Okay, this is a 1 or a 2. Certainly creates a virtual 1-2 pair with these, right? Because this is at most 6, so there's definitely a 1 or a 2 on it. That cell's not... Sorry, this cell... Yeah, right. Okay. There's a virtual 1-2 pair, so I'm gonna get there in the most convoluted way possible. One of these is a 1 or a 2, so this one isn't. But one of these needs to be a 1 or a 2, so this one is, but it's not a 2, so it's a 1. So this is only 5 or 6, by the way. So this is 4 or 5, which gives me a Bizarro World 4-5 pair. Oh, so this can't be a 1. That's easy. Yeah, this can't be a 1. Because, I mean, it's not easy, but if this is a 1, then these two are the same digit. So this has to be a 4, which makes that a 5, which makes that a 2, which makes that a 6. I thought that was nice. Was that really that bad? I didn't think that was that bad. So that's a 3 and that's 2. A 1 and a 2. I mean, I assumed that was the intention of why there was a 7, 8, 9 in this column, was because it made it so there needed to be a 1, 2 on both of these arrows, and they needed to be a different 1, 2. 4 and 5. Was there something easier that I didn't do that was sort of hanging out? Let's see. These are 4, 5, 6. I mean, it was a 1 or a 2, and it wasn't a 2. I mean, it was just a virtual 1-2 pair. Is a virtual 1-2 pair the worst offense in the history of Sudoku? I could have done more Sudoku first. But I mean, it looked like that was exactly what the clue was set up for. Let's see. What about these two cells? Let's see. They are a 3 and a 4. Not a 4 and a 3. These are a 5, a 7, and an 8. Nope. Try again. 5, 7, and 9. There we go. That one's not 9. These are 1, 5, 7, 8. And that one is, funnily enough, not 1 or 5. It's 7 or 8. Let's see. This column needs a 7 and 8 and the other thing, which is a 9, actually. That one's not a 9, so that one is. Let's see. Okay, so the 6 that we know exists on this Renbon is now in one of these two cells. Oh, and that's actually exceptionally useful if I now ask where 9 goes in this box, because 9 goes in one of those cells. Namely, 9 isn't in any of these, and it's not in that. So 9 goes there, which makes that a 6. So we need the other 7, 8. But these are all now from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this is not 4 or 7 for what it's worth. That's not an 8. Okay. Okay, what about this row? We still need a 3, a 6, and an 8. And that is a naked 3. So that makes that an 8, which makes that a 6. Makes that not an 8. So now one of these two is an 8. Oh, this digit. Why did I not pencil mark this digit? This is the digit to pencil mark because it's not 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. So it's 1, 2, or 3, and it's not 3, and it's not 1. So it's a 2. That was the correct thing to do. So now we know there is an 8 down here somewhere. Garion points out 5 is on this Renbon by Sudoku, making that an 8. Which makes that a 7, which makes that an 8. 6 and 8. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So these are a 1 and an 8, I think, that goes in that order. So 5, 4, and 5. This is one of the nicest puzzles I've done in ages. Just the flow here is just exactly what I want to see in a puzzle. This is a 2. It's a 4. Yeah, I'm not using the mark only because I don't want the puzzle to be over. Because whatever is next will, unfortunately for the setter of the next puzzle, be worse. 3, 7. Go there and there. These are 5, 7, 9. 7 and 9, like that. Let's see. These are 1, 5, and the other thing, which seems to be, I was going to say a 6, but it's actually a 3. And that's where the 3 goes. Okay, I will use mark just for these cells. Okay, so that is a 9 and a 5 and a 7 and a 1. 5 and 1, 4 and 6, 2, 7, 1, 5, 7, 9. By the way, at the link, James puts out a regular. I'm trying to think, what do you call a collection of puzzles that you put out? But anyway, if you want to subscribe to James's puzzles to get more puzzles like this, you can find the link here at artisanalsudoku.com, but it's in the Sudoku Pad link. So if you want to check it out, you don't have to attempt to spell that. Call it a newsletter. I see, a newsletter of puzzles. Is that like a murder of crows or something? Could be like that. But yeah, that was Chef's Kiss amazing. I really liked that. There were so many steps here to really appreciate, but I think my favorite was actually the subtly different way that these two similar looking boxes were arranged. Was a very cool thing, and the way this Renbon played them against each other to make that all work out, that was just amazing. Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back with another puzzle, so see you all in just a moment. Hello, and welcome back. We have the puzzle Narrow Escape by Half-Baked Lunatic, aka David Workman. So we have here some killer cages and some Kropke, which is a nice little combination here. My first... Well, we know that 10 cages are 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the only way to make 10. I at least see that these cells can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, but maybe that's even actually better here. This one, in fact, can only be 6 or 8 because it needs to be a black dot digit, so it can't be 5, 7, or 9, and it can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this digit has to be, funnily enough, the other 6, 8, because every pair of white dots needs an even digit, and there's only one even digit left in the box. And so these are certainly from 5, 7, 9, but one of them is definitely a 5. So therefore, as AFK says, that's 5 or 9. These are certainly 3 or 4, depending on their nature. Sorry, I said one of these is definitely a 5. What I meant is one of them is definitely a 7, which is why then I said this was a 5 or a 9. What I said did not actually make any sense with these sorts of things. Okay. So, one of these has to be 6 or 8, because if neither of them is 6 or 8, these are also both from 1, 2, 3, 4. And the same is true of this one, actually, because of that same cage. So these are actually also a 3, 6, 4, 8. But these are, in fact, a 3, 6, 4, 8 quadruple. And we know that this one's not the 3, 4. So this one is the 3, 4. And that 3, 4 in the 10 cage goes there. And whichever of these is a 3, 4 we know goes here. And so that's the other 3, 4 if you want. I was trying to see if I could like look at some cell that sees both of these and go, oh, wow, yeah, the thing. It's definitely ketchup. Do I know what flavor of ketchup it is? Yeah, this certainly isn't a 3, 4. Yes. Right, I should have been coloring. Maybe I should color the... No, I should color the 3, 4s, but the right way to think about it is exactly what Ambrose says, which is that, like, really I could color the dominoes. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will actually color the dominoes. I'll make this the purple domino and this the yellow domino. And so that's the yellow 3, 4. And therefore, this is certainly the yellow of those. And this is the purple of those. That seems a good way to do it. That lets me still color the individuals. I was going to start coloring the dominoes over there, but that didn't really make sense, but that works. So like this cell's not 3 or 4, for example, but maybe that's not super exciting. Okay, this is the purple 6, 8. So this is the purple 6, 8, and so this isn't 6, 8 actually. So this isn't 3, 4. That's also pretty nice. So there's no 6, 8 in these cells. So it's not a 6, 8, 6 cage, which is what I was thinking it was probably going to be. Let's see. So these digits, if I look at them actually, they're not 1, 2, 3, 4 because they see the entire cage. They could be 5. They're not 6 because they see a 6, 8 pair. They could be 7, and they could be 9. So these are only from 5, 7, 9, funnily enough. Which means this is certainly even. I don't know if it's 4, 6, or 8. I guess, yeah, the row only has 5, 7, 9 left. That's fair. That was Okay, this black dot, it's being pointed out, is neither yellow nor purple. And therefore has a 2 on it. It's not yellow because it's looked at from the left, and it's not purple because it's looked at from below. So this is from 1, 2, 4, the only other kinds of black dots. So there's a 2 in these, which means that this is yellow or purple, because as soon as a black dot doesn't have a 2, it must be yellow or purple, and it's not yellow, so this one's purple. I don't think I know the order of it yet, but that is slick as hell. Let's see. So the yellow 3, 4 is in... Oh, no, maybe the yellow 3, 4 could be here. Oh, wow, yeah, that is a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad. So therefore, this cell is a 6, 8, which makes that cell a 3, 4. I just don't know what kind yet. Like, could this be the 6, 8 again? I don't know. That is true. We have a virtual 3, 4 pair because one of these is the purple 3, 4. So this is not 3 or 4. So yeah, the purple 3, 4 has gotten bumped down. Uh, uh, Oh, wow. Yeah, the thing I had not fully appreciated. Garion is pointing out there's a 2 corner marked in these cells. And so if this didn't want to be the same 6, 8, it would have to be a 2, but it can't be because of that. That is very classy. So this is the same 6, 8 again, whichever 6, 8 it may be. Let's see. Are we investigating these? They don't all, unfortunately, have 8s in them. So yeah, so this digit is not 3, 4, 6, or 8, but it does go in a 20 cage, which somehow seems to make it be 5, 7, 9. Which I guess gives me a 5, 7, 9 triple in the column, which is, I guess, why Todd asked about it, but that is bizarre. So yeah, so where did the 1 and the 2 go in this column, I guess is the question, because you can't put a 1 or a 2 in a 20 cage, and so the 1 or the 2 in the column go there and there, which makes this the other thing, right? It makes it the other 3, 4, right? Is the only thing that this could possibly be. And so this is the purple 3, 4, right? There's no other thing, which makes that the yellow 3, 4. In fact, makes all of these yellow. I don't think I know which of those is yellow right away. So if there's a 3 or a 4 in here, that means that there's definitely a 9. There's not a 5, so this is also a 7, 8, 9. Good spot from Codec. This cell sees a 3, 4 pair in a bespoke way, so it's not a 3 or a 4. It's only a 1 or a 2. I always enjoy that. Or if you want, you could say it sees a 3, 4 in a less bespoke way, but slightly bespoke by doing it that way. Oh, one of these is definitely a 3, so that isn't, because neither of those is a 3. So I can sort of corner mark 3 in these. Yeah, this can't be 3, Carl points out, because if this is a 3, the problem is it makes both of these digits 8. That's weird. But yeah, I agree. If this is a 3, then the 20 cage needs to be 3, 8, 9, but then this needs to be 4, 8. So yeah, so this is not a 3, it's a 4. And so all of these purple 3, 4s are 4s. All the purple 6, 8s are 8s. All the yellow 3, 4s are 3s. All the yellow 6, 8s are 6s. And the 4, I guess, was the first digit there, right? I'll bring out Zach before he gets too mad at me. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Much appreciated. So that means that this is a 7, 9 as well, because that's what goes with the 4. Those aren't 4. Oops. Let's just throw in 7 on the black dot. That'll make everyone happy, right? These are 4, 8. Those aren't 3. That's not a 4. That's not a 4. Those are a 1, 2 pair, so that is a 3, it would seem, and is yellow. I don't know if I'm going to want these colors in my life, but we'll see. Okay, so now there's a 3 down exactly here, actually. Oh, also this 3 is on a white dot too. So this is a 2 or a 4, and this is a 2 or a 4. Let's see. Can I do more 3 doku? It's in one of those 2 cells and one of those 2 cells. That's not too enriching. I can rule out that exact 19 cage. This digit is not a 7 or a 9. So let's see. What can this digit be? So it's not 1, 2. It's not 3, 4. It could be 5. It's not 6. It's not 7. It could be 8. It's not 9. So actually, this digit is down to only being able to be 5 or 8. Which leads me to believe that it's not that useful. Okay, there is a 6 or a 2 on this dot here. Oh, there can't be a 2 on it, right? There needs to be an even digit, and if that digit is 2, this would have to be 2, 1, which would break that cell. So there is a 6. Oh, and the 6 goes there even. Better. And this is a 5 or a 7. I don't know which one yet, but hey, it's something. Which places the 6 in this. Oh, sorry, no, it doesn't. I lied. It means one of those two is a 6. These are for 1, 2, 4, 8, but they're not 1 because if they were 1, it would be 1, 2 looking at that. So there's definitely a 4 on there. Oh, what digits go on a white dot with an 8 has been asked, which is a very reasonable question to have asked before I got around to it. So that's a 5 and that's a 7. So we still have a 1, 2 left in this row, and we know it's here because of that 1, 2, which makes this a naked single of a 9, actually. Does this cage need a 9? It does not. It just needs an 8 or a 9. Okay, good to know. Oh, there's a 2, 4 pair in this column, which makes that a 1, which makes that a 2. Let's see. Okay, this is a 5, 7, or 9, probably. Okay. Oh, this 3 is yellow. Let's keep our priorities straight. There's a 4 in this box, and I know it's in one of those 2 places. Do I want to mark those? I don't know that I do. There's a 6 in one of these 2 cells. No. Sorry, no, there's a... Oh, there's a 6 in box 9, and it's there. I see. I was like, no, I broke it. I did not break it. That was a 6. That's a 9. That's not a 9. Okay, what is left in this box? We've got a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an 8. And this one we know is not a 1 or a 2, actually. So this is an 8 by that 1, 2 looking down. So these are a 1, 2. So this is a 1, 2, 3, and it's not a 3. So it's a 1 or a 2. So yeah, one of these is a 4 or an 8. Yeah, it's probably about 50-50, David, whether I'm sort of off in another world or I'm trolling or someone is being a bit rude, so I'm ignoring them on purpose. It's always a mix, but a lot of it is me drifting off into another world. Let's see, if this is a 7, let's see, I guess this, Are we telling me this can't be a 5? Because if this is a 5, then these would need to be a 6, 8, and they can't be. That seems to be true. Yeah, there's also sometimes when someone sees a point and I'm all like, that doesn't feel like what I think the author intended, or that doesn't feel like, that deduction doesn't feel good to me, so I'm going to try and find a way around it. And if I need to, like, a lot of times I see it and then it gets sort of like tucked in my brain to be pulled out later, or tucked in my brain and then forgotten about. This really can't be a 5, even though I don't honestly see a good explanation as to why. Yeah, I guess I do, because if it's a 5, I need 2 digits to sum to 14, which of course can't be 5, 9, so it would have to be 5 with a 6, 8. Okay, so that's always a 7, and that's always a 5. Okay, very weird. So that means these are a 4, 8 pair, which means, funnily enough, they are purple. Yeah, I try not to like bounce around the puzzle immediately. Like, if I'm thinking about something that feels productive, I try not to sort of immediately jump ship. This is a 1, 2, 4 triple at random. I don't know that it's useful, but it is a 1, 2, 4 triple. Poor box 8. Let's see. So if you see a skyscraper Zachwing, you should keep it to yourself. It depends. I might get desperate eventually. It depends on how it's going. My tolerance my tolerance increases as my desperation does, I guess, is one way to put it. Okay, so these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one I know is not a 1 or a 2, so this is a 5 or a 9. This is not a 5. That one's not a 1. People keep talking about box 8, but I think the box 8 thing is a joke. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But I think the box 8 thing is a joke because it's like a chocolate teapot quadruple here. Oh, I see. I see. People would like me to apply the 1, 2 pair not just to that cell, but also to that cell. That is very very creative. See, that's one I've been trying to look at, like in the corner of my eye, and every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't see what they're talking about in box 8, and then it became that. But that was me looking and then not seeing what people were seeing in box 8 and being like, I see like a bunch of weird things. Anyway, so that gives me a 1 and a 2 up there. It gives me a 4 and a 1 up there. Joke had a long setup. True. Yeah. Very true. Very true. You'll console box 8 now. Yeah, poor box 8. I'm sorry, box 8. Okay, there's a 5, 9 pair, so that's not a 9, I guess. Let's see. These are, well, one of those two's an 8. It's probably not a useful observation. You're purple. That probably is the key. Yes. That's a very good point. This can't be a 4-8 black dot. That's very clever. Yeah, this can't be a 4-8 black dot because it would break this 19 cage. That's super cute. So now this is a 2-4. Very nice, which makes that a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1. This has somehow become a 4. So we can chase that up, which now has made this the 8 up in this box. So this is the other 5, 9 for the box, which has made that a 7 and a 9. Made that a 9 and a 7 and a 5, which has finally unraveled all of that. Oh no. That is a good point. This cell was momentarily colorless, which we try to avoid around here, both for the sake of the viewers and for the sake of the comfort of the digits. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 7. That's now something else. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 5. These are... Poor 4. Can you also comfort the 4 while you're comforting box 8? Does it help that it was the 4 in box 8? Can you comfort them both at once more easily that way? That's the 2. That's the 7. Okay, let's see. Let's just fill in this triple, I suspect. Actually, maybe I'll fill in the single first before I start filling in triples. 2, 3, 4. That seems to be a 5 as well. These are a 6 and a 9, I want to say. Okay, so these are for 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 8, 9 is what these are, but those aren't 5, so that is. Okay, so one of these is a 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that is a 1, a 6, and a 7. Okay, so the 6s definitely need to have colorosity. That is a 9. That is the 6. So it's a 2, a 1, and a 2. I'm being told I can fill in these if I would like. I can use mark for that. So that is a 7, a 5, and 2 yellow digits. Yeah, I should have just asked where the yellow digits went in this box. It would have been cleaner. Let's see. Let's mark these digits as well. So this is purple. This is purple. This is yellow. How close are we to needing to make sure we don't make any mistakes? This is purple. Those are good. Those are good. You have missed a purple. Poor box 8. What has happened to box 8? This puzzle. Okay. So that has become a 4 and an 8. And a 1 and a 9 and a 9 and an 8. There we go. That was a lovely puzzle. I'm pretty sure I have never done a half-baked lunatic puzzle previously, but that one was great. I would definitely do more. I might throw this as an example hybrid puzzle in my packet of Sudoku examples that I give students, because this is very approachable and very cool. Also, the name makes me think of the lunatic from Blood on the Clock Tower, which has got to be one of the funniest roles that is in the game. If any of you have ever played Blood on the Clock Tower and been the lunatic, you will agree. Alrighty, though, I am going to take a quick stretch and be back, and I will do yet more puzzle. So, more puzzle to come. Be back in just a moment. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We've got Mixo Puzzle up next with quite a striking grid, actually. This is a really interesting aesthetic that we have here. We've got a bunch of sort of repeated things that I don't think I've ever quite seen a grid with this kind of aesthetic, but it looks very cool. So we have our friends the Renbon are back, but we also have region sum lines. So the box borders divide these things into segments of the same sum. So if I want to sort of go over this, we've got this. Let's see. But yeah, that's a super cool thing. There we go. Okay, so all of those are the same sums. Oh, I didn't actually gray these circles. All the Renbon have 4, 5, and 6, I am being told, which sounds very nice, because if I count how I'm going to cram 4, 4, 5, 6s in here, it does make these a 4, 5, 6 triple, right? Because I need to get 4 of them, and of course each row only has 1 4, 5, 6, so these need to be 4, 5, 6 for sure. Yeah, 4 rows for 4, 4, 5, 6s. And I know this digit isn't 4, 5, 6, and I know these digits aren't 4, 5, 6. I also know those aren't 8, and that one isn't 8. Hey, Mixo. Hey, Michael. Welcome. DWeb has found a 3, but I haven't yet found a 3. Let's see. Okay, so what about these totals? I know this total is expressible in 2 different ways, so it's a minimum of 5, but I don't know that about this total. So these circles, I all know, are at least 5, because they're expressible in 2 different ways. Let's see. The circles all can't be 4, 5, 6. The circles aren't in a row with the Renbon, though, are they? Yeah, let me think about this. So we've got a 4, 5, 6 in row 4 that can go in the circles, right? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, yes. Very nice. Okay, I see it. Yes. So the point is that whatever this digit is, it's the same digit, and it doesn't appear on this Renbon. And therefore, it can't be a 4, 5, or 6, because the Renbon needs a 4, 5, or 6. Okay, very nice. So, in fact, these are a 7, 8, 9 triple. And this, therefore, is, in fact, the only thing it can be, which is a 3. So we can pull out Zach for the 3 dance. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Wee! Ba-doop-ba-doop. Ba-doop-ba-doop. Waha! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Oh, good night, Kodak. Bonsoir. If you're saying moi, we'll say. Okay, so those are a 1, 2. I mean, I guess that's not anything profound to say. Therefore, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because we've already got 1, 2, 3 triples in the columns. Okay, these are... Okay, so minimum here... Yeah, I guess these are a... Oh, not quite a 4, 5, 6, right? One of these, okay, I can get this digit in the following way. Oh, no, I can't. Never mind. Ignore my claim. Okay, so got that. This row needs to have an 8 and a 9 in it. And I was hoping that I was going to be able to argue that the 8 had to go on the thing that was summing to 9 and it was going to sort out the 1, 2, but I don't think that was going to be true. Oh, I see. Mektia is suggesting I just do this as math. So if I sum these, that's 27. This is a second 27, so that means that these are 54. Plus these I know sum to 15, so that's 69. And so the remaining cells sum to 90 minus 69, which sounds like 21. And this one is at most a 6. Uh, I don't think so. I like the idea, but I don't think it's useful in this particular instance. I can certainly mark these cells as being from 1 to 4, 5, 6. AFK claims a 3-cell sum to 21 is useful. I mean, there's no reason it can't include an 8, 9 in this row. So this thing, I mean, this thing can't be a 1 or a 2, which I saw, but it didn't seem useful. To me, at least. So, this isn't 1, 2. I agree with that. Okay. AFK would like me to do the math for all 3 cells. So these two sum to a max of 15. So therefore, this one needs to be at least 6. But it's not 4, 5, or 6, so it's 7 or 9. These two sum to a maximum of 15, so this one's at least 6, so it's certainly 7, 8, or 9. I stand by my that wasn't very useful, but I could imagine it being useful someday to have it marked. Let's see. Certainly gives us 2 places for 3 in this row, for example. This isn't 1, 2, by the way. And unless this is a 3 exactly, it makes this a 9 for what it's worth. Oh, this just is a 3. This is the point. This cell just is a 3, regardless of basically anything else. Because if this cell isn't a 3, then this digit is now at least 7, which is way too big. And this doesn't involve any of the math or anything. This is just the fact that this cell is known to be 4, 5, 6 just makes this digit a 3. So we get that, which tells us, I guess it doesn't tell us whether this is a 3 or not. Okay, it's certain. Oh, I guess it. Right. This Renbon definitely has a 3 on it because it doesn't have a 9 on it, right? And it's 6 cells. So by virtue of that, it needs to have a 3. Because the only way you get to 6 without 3 is 4 through 9. And so one of these two is a 3 at the very least. Let's see. Yeah, most of the Renbon can't have 9. I agree. So, like, if I look at it, none of these cells are 9, none of these cells are 9, and none of these cells are 9. I can only put 1 9 in these cells. So look at rows 6 and 7. I need to put 2 9s in row 6 and 7. Only one of them can go on this one Renbon, and therefore the other one goes there, making that a 9 and a 7, which makes that an 8 and an 8. That is a very good spot. I like that a lot. So therefore that's not a 7. And we know that this one does include a 9, for what it's worth. One of these two is a 9. I don't really have a great way to mark that, but what can you do? 7, 9. I guess I can write that this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and just deal with it. I guess I know this isn't a 9, is what Mekti is pointing out. Oh no, Mekti is pointing out I actually know where the 9 is in row 5, because I can't put a 9 on a sum to 8, or a 4 for that matter, but we'll skip that one. I can't put a 9 as part of a sum to 8, and so therefore the 9 can only go here, which actually makes these both 7, which makes these both 9. It's a genius construction. So these are 1 through 6 exactly. And we know none of those are the 3. So that's a 4 by algebra. And so those are all not 4. Those aren't 4 either. I regret that I took the time to specify that 4 wasn't in a 2-cell sum to 8. Okay, one of these is 1, 2, and it's not this one, actually, if you look at it, because this would have to be 1, 2 plus 5, 6 equals 9 is not going to work. So that has to be the other 1, 2. And so now if I look at where 8 goes in this row, it now has to go there, making that a 1, giving me a 2 and a 6 and a 5 and a 4, making those a 5, 6 pair. These are not 1, 2, so those are a 5, 6 pair, making that an 8, which means that cell's also not an 8. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 5, 6, I suppose. What about these? These are something and something, I'm sure. One of them's a 1, actually. 2, and the other's a 3. Okay, so these are 1, 3. Very interesting. And so these are 4, 7, and 2. So this Renbon has a 2 on it. 2 to 7 would be an acceptable Renbon. Okay, I know there's no 1 on here, though, for what it's worth. Oh, I don't know that. Sorry, I don't know that. Oh, I do know this is 2, 5, 6, AFK points out. And we know where the 2 goes even. So that's even better. So that also looks up at this and tells me that this is 1, 7, which we actually even know the order of, and it looks down at that, which is very nice. So that's now a 2 and a 1 over there like that. One of these is a 7 for whatever that is worth. Okay, so this is 3, 6, or 4, 5, just for whatever it's worth. That one's not a 3, so that one's not a 6. So this is always a 4, 5. In fact, actually, just what's left in this row is 4, 5, 6. And that one's not the 4. That one's not the 5. So that, and this one's not the 5 either, because that would be a 1. Sorry. This is not the 6, because that one would be a 1. So that's a 5 and a 2. Make that not a 5. So this is 4, 6, going with whichever 3, 5 it feels like it would like to have. 4, 6 goes in one of these. This has become a 6 and a 5. I don't know that that's going to be super useful, honestly. But we could do it. Okay, these aren't 2 anymore. So those are a 1, 4 pair, making these a 3 and a 2. Okay, what's left in this column now? An 8 and a 9. Not useful, but we'll go ahead and put it in anyway. That's not a 4. So the 4 in this is in this column somewhere. There's a 2 down in one of these 2 cells. I do know that one of these is a 2, by the way. So I know that we've either got a 1 or a 2 on this. But I don't know which one yet. Let's see. This column also only has a pair left. And those digits are 4 and 9. Let's see. Okay, can I do any Sudoku on 9s? Okay, I think I do know that this Renbon has a 9 on it, don't I? Yeah, I do. Okay, I don't quite know about the 7 yet. The 8 in this row, I know goes exactly there. There's the Sudoku for you. So then the 8 in this column goes in one of these. The 1 in this column, I know goes exactly there. Let's see. So this box doesn't have too many digits left. It's got an 8, a 9, a 6. Let's see. I see chat pointing out that this Renbon needs a 3, and we know where it goes. I agree that it goes there, which gives me a 5 and a 4 over there, and a 6 over there. Like that. Row 8 has a 7, 9 pair, so that's not a 7. So now it's got a 5, 6 pair. This column needs an 8 and another thing. And a 6. For what it's worth. So one of these 2 digits is... Oh, no, sorry. Neither of these digits is a 7, which is what I was about to say. These are 4, 6, 8, 9. And they're not 8. So 4, 6, 9. This Renbon has a 5, 6 pair on it, so these aren't 5 or 6. So now it's got a 4, 7, 9 triple. That 7, 9 pair actually makes that an 8 and a 6, which lets me do a lot of damage up here. Thank you, D-Web, for that Sudoku spot. Okay, so now this Renbon needs a 4, and it's there exactly. And it needs its 5, 6, which is here and is a 6, making that a 5 and a 6 and a 5, making that a 5 and a 6. And now we can fill in the rest of the digits. 3, 7, 8, 6, 9, 5, 2, and 3. Wow, what a puzzle. That was very cool. I was not at all sure what to expect from the original grid, other than the original grid was incredibly striking, but that was a very cool path through that. This I also can somewhat imagine was a bit of a nightmare to set, because the break-in requires literally every clue in the grid except the given 8. So I guess you have to sort of know that you're going to bend these things in some way or another, and that one of them's going to have to be a 3 or something, and figure out exactly what sort of bending works, I guess, is probably what setting this requires. But very neat puzzle, very neat idea. Played around with the exact shape of the lines until 4 a.m. That tracks, given that this is that sort of puzzle where sort of it's solved very smoothly, which is not at all a given when you sort of start with a break-in that requires 60 cells of the grid to make work. I guess only 40 cells of the grid, but still. No. 4 times 12. 48 cells of the grid. I can do math. Okay. I will be back in just a moment. Hello and welcome back. Let's have a look at this triple threat puzzle by Cactuslaw, if I am reading that correctly. So each circle in the puzzle contains a 2-digit number and simultaneously acts as an arrow circle and a quadruple clue and a killer cage total. Okay, so this 12 is telling me that these pairs each sum to 12. There's a 1 and a 2 in these cells. And these 3 cells sum to 12. So it's telling me all of those things. So first of all, the 12, or the 1 and the 2, need to go in these 2 cells. There's no way around that, because I'm not putting a 1 or a 2 in a 2-cell sum to 12. Likewise, I'm not putting a 1 or a 3 in a 2-cell sum to 13. This 24 would normally be 7, 8, 9, but I don't think so. But I can do the 1 and the 4 here, which is going to give me a 1 living down here somewhere. I guess I can do math, actually, huh? So these sum to 36, if you look at it, because it's 12, 12, 12. And so that means these 2 sum to 9. So this is always a 7 or an 8, for what that is worth. So yeah, we do definitely have a 1 living its best life over down here. You can just get a 1 into this cage as long as you put it with a 7, 8, 9. We do know that there's a 2 living down here somewhere, for purposes of alignment of these quadruples. Likewise, there's a 4 living over down here somewhere. The 2 is certainly not going in either of these cells, though. Because if the 2 goes here, I'm adding a 1 or a 3 to it, and I need to get to... Oh, sorry, maybe I could. The 2 is definitely not going there. I'd need to put an 11 there. But 2 plus 3 would make that an 8, which is probably okay. Let's see. It has been suggested that actually these cells, though, sum to 39, which means these two sum to 6, which means that digit's not a 3. Because if it was, that digit would also be a 3, and that would break the box. So that has to be a 1 and a 5, which actually makes that a 2. Sorry, a 2 and a 3, and those together require an 8. That 1 seems to make that a 2 and a 1. And so now that's a 7, because remember those two had to add to 9, which makes that a 4 and a 1 over there. These two need to sum to 10, so they're either 2, 8 or 3, 7. I can do the outie math, though, in this box, because this is 14, 14, and 14. So these two need to sum to 3. I actually should have started with this box. It would have been even better, because that's just got to be a 2. Okay. So what else can I do? I know one of these two is a 2, just for the record. Oh yeah, 14 is only has two possible sums, which are 5, 9, and 6, 8. So we know what these two digits are. Namely, these are the other ones. They are 3 and 7, and we actually know the order because of the 7 up there. There's a 7 over there. 5 plus 7 is 12, and this is not that box. And this isn't 5 plus 7 either. So 5 is in this cage, thank you to Mekti. So this is 5, 6, and we actually know the order. So that's not 6, and that's not 5, so that's not... Since this one wasn't 5, that one's not 9. Since this one wasn't 6, that one's not 8. Okay, so these are 3, 9, and the other one, and 4, 8. This isn't 3 or 8, so this is not 4 or 9. This isn't 4, so that's not 8. This isn't 3, so that's not 9. It's maybe not ideally useful. And so now 1, Garion points out, actually lives in this box just by Sudoku. So this is a 1, 6, 8, 9 cage, is the only way to make those sum to 24. One of these two I know is a 2. One of these two I know is a 4. I'm going to have a really hard time putting a 1 on this arrow, so I'm just not going to do that. In fact, if either of these is 6... Oh, no, I could do 6, 9, 9 would be okay. Yes. This 4-9 cell, DWeb points out, tells me the orientation of this 13 box, because I need to put a 4-9 on one of these, and it can't be that one. So, in fact, this one is 4-9, creating a 4-9 pair in this row, and this one is 6-7. Let's see. So let's fill out the rest of this row. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what is left over here. Sadly, I don't quite have the same joy over there that I did previously. Chad points out, I do know that one of these two is 9, because if neither of them is 9, they add to 14, and I'm obligated to make that a 10. So I can't do that. Let's see. Which places the 4, for what it's worth. So there's a 4 over here somewhere. Uh, let's see. There's definitely a 2 in one of these two cells. There's a 3 in one of these. Uh, yeah, this digit's big, and DWeb says if we care later, we can rule out 8 from it. Oh, we can compute the sum of these two digits, is what AFK is saying. Because these are 25 plus 25 is 50, plus 25 is 75, 80, 87. And so these two sum to 3. So they'd better be 2 and 1. And they made it so the math was even super nice. Unheard of for a setter to make the math actually work out nicely. Thank you to Cactus Law for that, for making it so that it's I had to compute 3 times 25. I can do that. Even I can do that. Okay, and so now these two need to sum to 12. So they aren't 5, 7. So they're either 4, 8 or 3, 9. And they sure are. I don't think I know which one it is. Weirdly enough. Oh, no. I do know which one they are. Which one it is, don't I? I think. One of these would make this. I don't. Okay. These 3 digits, though, now sum to 22, which is a total that definitely is not I'm not going to get to if I make this digit a 4. And I definitely need a 9 to get, because if I don't use the 9, it's not enough. So now it's very tempting to use DWeb's point. But I will at least say if this isn't 9, I now almost assuredly need to not use a 6 up here. Crap, I can use 6, 9, can't I? No, I can't use 6, 9. 6, 9 would need a 9, right? Yes, I can't use 6, 9, right? So there's no 6 on here, so that makes that a 9. And now I can use parity. So these have an odd sum, so I need this to be odd. So it's a 7. And now those sum to 16, so that's an 8. Okay, I avoided doing anything untoward there, so I am happy with that. So I did do a little bit of elimination. So I eliminated that from being 9, so that's not 5. Okay, and this is 6 or 9, so this must not be 6. It's either 6 plus 8 or 9 plus 5. Okay. So now I need to sum to 22 and 3 with no 7. 986 is 23. So I definitely need an 8, right? If I don't use an 8, then I'm maximum 965, which is nowhere near enough. So there's definitely a 9 and an 8. And then if there's a 9 and an 8, then I know what the other digit has to be in order to sum to 22, which is that it has to be a 5. So these are 5, 8, 9. Which creates a 5, 8 pair in this row, ridiculously enough. Uh, I do know that there's a 5 on this quadruple, and Laura points out it's not in the column with a 5, 8, 9 pair, strangely enough, so it's there. There is a 6 in this column, which is definitely down here, which is totally worth marking, and I will hear no contradiction. Now, these two needed to sum to 12. Oh, yeah, they weren't 5, 7, but what can you do? Okay, AFK is encouraging me to center mark the rest of this box. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is not 2 or 7. This isn't 3. This isn't 5. I think AFK has seen something that I have not. That's not 2 because of the quadruple. It's the 5, 8 pair. So I saw it, but then I immediately forgot. Which makes that a 7, which is very on brand. So these are a 2, 5 pair, and that 7 looks up and sorts out the order of the 6 and the 7, which sorts out the order of the 1 and the 6. So we remove that 2. Lets me fill in this triple. 3, 4, 5. These are 6, 7, 8. With that not being a 6. Let's see. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Do I want to also mark these? Row 6 still has a 1 left, so these are 1 and 4. So these are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So no 7 up there, no 3 down there. Also, this can have repeat digits. This definitely has a 7 on it for whatever that is worth. Oh, I see this one. Yeah, but sadly, it doesn't have the right number of cells. We can do the Audi math in this column. That's a very good point. So these sum to 26, 27, 29, and therefore these three sum to 16, plus 23 is 39, which means these two sum to 6. Did I do that right? I think these two sum to 6. So these sum to 17. So if this is a 2, yeah, this is either 2, 4 or 1, 5, with this not being the 2, so this isn't the 4, this isn't the 1, so that's not the 5. But therefore, these sum to 17. Let's see. If this is a 1, I can't get anywhere near 17 for these 3 cells, because these sum to a maximum of 12. 12 plus 5 annoyingly does work. 9 doesn't work. I would need to make these two sum to 8. 9, 6, or sorry, 9, 6, 2. Yes, parity is a good idea. Right. I want these to sum to 17. That's even and that's odd, so this has to be even, so it's not a 3. So that being a 2-4 tells me what this is. It's not 2-4, it's 5-1. Which seems to make that a 9, which I was told didn't work, so I'm now concerned that something is wrong. 15. Sorry, I was doing 17 over here, so these need to add to 8, so that's 2 and 6. If I did that correctly. That makes that 8 and 6, and that 5 and 9. That 5 and 8 and 9. Yeah, they did a very good job in this puzzle at making it so that all of the math you have to do for Audi math of something that seems like it should be absurd is actually been very nice. So those aren't 6. These aren't 2. Okay, so this cage now tells me nothing, but this sum is now useful because now that's 6. So now this is 17 for what it's worth. I might want to mark here just for the sake of it. So apparently that is a 3. This is the 2 because it needs to go on the quad. Okay, no 3 over there. This seems to be a naked 4 and an 8, giving me a 4 and an 8 over here. Giving me a 1 and a 4. And giving me a bunch of things that I'm not going to look at now. Okay, so this is 13, so I need these to add to 12. Well, that's certainly not a 9 in that universe. So that's 3 and that's 2. And now hopefully 13 plus 5, or sorry. Oh, no, I can do this. This is 13 plus 5 is 18. I need to add 7 to it. So that's a 7 and a 6, giving me the 6 and the 7. Okay, now these can have their pencil marks filled in, and I will accept it. 9, 2, 1, 5. And now these sum to 8, so I need these to sum to 15, which means this had better be an 8 and a 7, 4 and 8, 3 and 4, 6 and 3, 6 and 7. Very lovely. We've gotten good luck today with the puzzles. That was quite a nice combination there. Alrighty, yeah, we've gotten a lot of neat stuff. Alrighty, I'm going to come back in just a moment, and I'll go ahead and do a 6x6 and wrap up stream probably after that, but there will be a 6x6, at least one, so come back in just a moment. See you then. Welcome back. We have a 6x6 that you can totally see because I hit the right button and not the wrong button. No, that would never happen. By J. Dyer. I need to bump this up so you can see the clues there. Okay, so I think this is going to be a numbered rooms puzzle, but we will see. So clues outside the grid give the digits in the nth cell in the corresponding direction. The digits in the nth cell in the corresponding direction in the row and column where n is that. So thankfully, only one digit in this particular case. I am slightly horrified as to what on earth this presumably is left from some numbered rooms puzzle with S cells or something. God, you could have an S cell and then there'd be sort of like two ways to resolve it if you had like two digits here. Because if you had two digits here, it could either mean there's a single digit here and that pair shows up as an S cell there, or it could mean that this digit's an S cell and the two places that these digits go are the two digits in that S cell, which is a horrendous idea that also sounds kind of awesome that apparently AFK did last week. Amazing. Okay, so let's us try to figure this out. So these certainly are not 1 or 6, so these are from 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. This can't be a 1. I think it can be a 2, though, but it can't be a 5 or a 6. Right. This one can't be 2 because there's a 2 on it. So that's not 2, so that's not 5. Because these two 6s are indexing the same 6, so the thing is these two are going to add to 7 at the end of the day. Okay, this is also 2, 3, 4, 5 for what it's worth. So one of these is a 6, one of them is a 1. Okay, so that digit at least isn't a 6. This isn't a 2 because of that. Right. Because if this was a 2, then that would be a 6, which is not allowed to be. So that means that this digit is I think that was deducible in two different ways, unfortunately. Okay. So the problem somehow, if this isn't 5, so if this isn't 5, we get a 2, 3, 4 quadruple. Yes, that's exactly the problem. No, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry, I was like, doesn't that force 2 into one of these boxes? But no, if these are a 2, 3, 4 quadruple, I think it's okay. If this isn't a 5, then one of these is a 2 for what it's worth. So there's a 2 or a 5 in here for whatever that is worth. I don't know if it's worth marking cells that definitely aren't 6. Maybe I'll mark cells that definitely aren't 6. So that cell's definitely not 6. That cell's definitely not 6. So does this mean one of these two is definitely 6? I think that's the point. Uh, no, I don't think that's true. I don't think it's quite true. Sadly. Uh, let's see. Hey, look, a fin swordfish that doesn't do anything. Yeah, perfect, isn't it? It's exactly what I always hoped for. The with that being the fin. Uh, I think it does literally nothing somehow. Uh, let's see. I did set Grockle's puzzle with a sword, 6x6 with a swordfish at one point. Uh, which, believe it or not, I enjoyed. I missed Grockles. I haven't seen Grockles around in quite a while. Uh, am I insufficiently taking into account this 5? Let's see. Okay, let me try and understand. If this cell is 6, then it places a 2 there. Maybe the question is, which of these is there 2 of? Are there 2 3 4s or are there 2 2 5s? That's the question. I think. No, maybe that's not it. Yeah, I'm trying to find the cute thing because like if there's 2 3 4s, I know it's not these that are both 3 4s. Like one of these has to be 2 5 because 2 3 4s would make 2 2s over here. Okay, I'm trying to in row 1. Yeah, we've got a sort of so I guess the point is this cell and this cell I know are never. They could both be 2 5, right? But they can't be both be 3 4. Uh so these cells are never 2 5. Uh is I think what I'm saying. Unfortunately, I don't think that immensely enlightens me. Uh Oh, right. Sorry. Right. The other part of the 2 5 pair isn't in the box, is a good point to note. Yes, that was what I was not. That was what I was not appreciating. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. In my brain, it was these 2 cells or these 2 cells that had to be 2 5, but that's not actually what's happening. Uh. Uh. I'll take a 3 4 5 6. Why not? I will take a 2 3 4 6. Uh. Yeah, I was hoping we were gonna like get some sort of arrangement on ones or something. Uh, yeah. If this is a 3 or a 4, it causes this to be the opposite kind of pair. Uh, it's interesting if this is a 5, then I lock out this being, then I actually fix both of these digits, because as soon as this is a 5, that can't be a 4 or a 5, so it's a 3. Uh, it does feel like that's kind of the way that madness lies, but it's possible that it could do something. I think, unfortunately, Gary and I think with retracted the chain, unless I'm incorrect, if I understood. If this is a 6, it makes that a 5. Is that a problem? Because then it makes these a 3, 4. So if this is a 6, that's immediately a 6. So yeah, if this, either both of these are 6 or whatever thing. Uh, yeah, can I do anything with the fact that if this is 6, this is also 6? Is there something wrong with that world? In that world, these are a 3, 4. And these are a 2, 5 in some capacity. If that world is broken, I don't see why. It's possible this 2 here is the clue I thought the least of. Let's see, Mekti says if this is a 3, it makes that be a 4 or a 5. So if this is a 3, that's a 6, that's a 2. So that's a 4. That's a 6. One of those is a 6. I don't quite see why this breaks. Row 3, column 6. I don't understand. Row 6, column 3 will be a 5. I agree. Oh, I see, I see. And now row 6, column 6 is wrong. Oh boy, yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, so there's a yeah, that is pretty gnarly. I agree, it's right. I'm trying to figure out the like Selena style indexing argument that this is true. That sort of starts down here somewhere and says, you can't do the something something something, but I don't quite see it. But that was all predicated on this being a 3. Uh, Uh, so yeah, so the deduction here is that this isn't 3 by an argument that would cause tears in the eyes of school children. Uh, yeah, I assume there's some nice way of seeing this. Uh, let's see, if this is 2, this would be 5, which would make that 4. Yeah, so is the actual problem what happens if 5 is here? Because then that makes that 4, which then makes that 3 in some way that I'm not, and makes that 2. I'm not seeing the issue immediately, but I haven't filled in the 6s, admittedly. Uh, do I need to fill in this 6 in order to see what's wrong? Clashes in row 1, column 1 now. It does. Right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that creates a weird. Okay, yeah. So there's definitely something going on here that's yeah, so if this is a 3, we end up. So the world that we're breaking is the combination of this can't be a 3 while that's a 2. Uh and the world Y is very confusing and seems to involve all of these digits in some bizarre way. Uh But yeah, there's this sort of like long sort of forcing chain in both directions. But the fact that it works the same way in both directions suggests to me that Jay had some way of seeing this that made this more clear. But yeah, like what's the shortest way to see that this doesn't work? Is to say, so this is 4, 5, and that doesn't work. Yes, okay, that's I think maybe it's not great, but if it's not so bad if you just say this being 3 2 makes this 4 5 and that's broken, because this being 3 2 makes this 4 5 and that doesn't work. uh and since that's one thing, that's really just sort of saying this, it's looking in the right place. Like the thing I don't tend to like about these kinds of look aheads is that you can fill in 80,000 things. And so it sort of feels like a really long look ahead. But if you really minimize it, it's not that bad to see that this 3 2 doesn't work. So this is never a 3, and that's never a 2. And presumably we get the same thing with this uh, being a 5 and a 4. Is that what we said before? Because if this is a 5 and a 4, then that's a. Oh, well, this just isn't a 5 ever because of the way that math works uh, with these two summing to 7. So I don't even have to do that yet to do this. So now I've got an actual 2, 3, 4 triple. So now this isn't a 4 because of that. And so this is only a 2 or a 3. So one of those two is a 5 now. And this is now not a 3. This is only a 4 or a 5, which has actually made these a 4 or 5 pair and made that a 3, which has made that a 6, made that a 4. Now this isn't a 3 because of reasons. Because that would need to be a. Oh, right. This isn't a 3 because that would repeat the 6 in this box. So this is a 2. I guess this is the same thing I said about how these could never be a 3, 4. As soon as this is a 4, this can't be a 3. It's got to be a 2, which makes that a 6, which makes that a 3, which makes that a 6, makes that a 4, and that a 5. So that's now a 2, making that a 5, making that a 5, which I guess I also could have gotten from the indexing. This can't be a 4 because that would put a second 2 in this box. So that's a 3 and a 2. And then we maybe fill in this and everything works. Oh, I guess I haven't used all the digits yet. These are 1, 4. These are 1, 5. Ah, but that one's the 1 and the 5 and the 4 and the 1. And now I can fill in all the digits. And we'll get 5, 1, 6, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3. Oh, I didn't actually fill in the 5 placing the 2. 6, 2, 4, 2. Oops. 1, 4, 1. I feel like there was probably an elegant way to see that involved saying you can't repeat 6 in this box or this box, but I don't know what it was. But the way we found wasn't that bad. And maybe it's true that you really needed these two on the outside, because everything we did seemed to run through simultaneously all 8 of these clues. Not these 2, but everything we did required all 8 of the clues that weren't the 2 in the middle in order to work, which is crazy. All right, though, I am going to wrap up stream for the day there. I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, whatever time it is. Do please like the stream. We do greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment if you're watching this in the future. I have been posting a bunch of easier puzzles over on LMD, so if you are interested in 1 and 2 star puzzles, I continue to post a slew of those. I don't know exactly what the next one is going to be. Also, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is nearly over and will be replaced soon with Talus Principle 2. So if you are excited to see me play Talus Principle 2, that will soon go along with Silk Song as my current playthrough. By the way, if you've been waiting to watch Silk Song until after you've played it and you want to see my playthrough of that now, that is up. I have not yet broken my controller, although I may have a few times come very, very close. So thank you, everyone. Last but not least, thank you to the Turbines. So Daniel, David, Franco, Nell, Nordy, Plonktime, and Tyson. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.